Hi guys, I am Georgia and usually I do vlogs about my vertical sleeve gastrectomy weight loss journey, but today I am gonna share a recipe with you guys. I found that after my weight loss surgery, I need to find good nutritional balanced meals and snacks that I can have easy access to so I don't fall back to my bad habits. This is not only VSG friendly, but healthy friendly. If you're looking for healthy little treats, you can snack on when you need that extra little bit of energy. I am not a dietitian, I'm not a nutritionist, I'm not promoting weight loss, and I'm not a health coach, I'm not a chef. I'm just sharing some recipes with you that I found work for me after my weight loss surgery. Today I'm gonna make protein treats or protein balls or protein bites. This recipe is my vanilla almond protein treat recipe. You can mix and match the ingredients the way you like them. I found that this particular one works well for me and my new tummy, and it doesn't give me a hard time, and it gives me enough nutrients that I need for my day. So this recipe will make 9 protein treats. Each treat is 99 calories, has 7 grams of protein, 4 grams of fat, and 9 grams of good carbohydrates. Before we start, I want to say that I'm going to show you all the products that I'm using today, but I am not promoting them, I am not selling them, I'm not pushing them on you. I'm just showing you what I use in case you want to replicate it, but you're more than welcome to substitute with whatever you like. So let's get down to it. For this recipe, we're going to need 40 grams of pitted dates. You can substitute with prunes if you like. These are the dates that I am using. We will need 30 grams of all natural almond butter. You can substitute with any other nut butter like peanut butter or tahini, but this is the one that I am using today. I found that almond butter does not take away from the rest of the ingredients in terms of flavor. Sometimes peanut butter can overpower everything else that you're putting in the recipe. But if you like peanut butter, I like peanut butter, and you want to make a peanut butter flavor treat, you can go ahead. I'm also going to be using 60 grams of the vanilla custard protein powder by Isagenix. Again, I'm not selling, I'm not promoting. This works well for me, and it works very well with this recipe. It helps the recipe bind and hold together. This is a whey protein, so if you're a vegan, you can use a vegan powder, or if you don't want to use a protein powder and you want to go more all natural, you can use almond flour or any other nut flour that you like, chickpea flour. You can substitute with whatever you want. Just make a test batch and make sure the recipe holds together. Another thing you can do for your recipe to hold together is to add honey or maple syrup. I'm not adding any of that in this one because I find the sweetness is good enough for me, and I don't need that extra sugar in my protein bite. I'm also going to be using half a cup of dried oats. I have Quaker oats. If you prefer something else, you can go ahead. After I mix these 4 ingredients together, I'm gonna add 36 grams of raw almonds. These you can substitute with any other nut that you like. I also make a salted caramel and pecan recipe where I substitute my vanilla custard flavor protein with my salted caramel protein shake, and I add pecans instead of almonds. Or my third one is chocolate chip, where I will substitute the vanilla custard protein powder with my chocolate milk protein powder, and instead of almonds, I will use dark chocolate chips. My last ingredient is about 1/4 cup of water. This recipe needs the 1/4 cup of water. If you're using honey or maple syrup, or you're using more prunes or dates, then you might need less water. It also depends on the ingredients you're using, how dry or moist they are. So to do this, you will need a multi mixer. where it can help you break down and bind the ingredients together in a solid dough. We start by adding our 40 grams of pitted dates, 60 grams of protein powder, half a cup of the oats, and my 30 grams of almond butter. I am not adding the water or the almonds yet because I would like to keep the almonds more in chunks rather than having them be almond flour. There we go. So let me start with these 4 ingredients. And these are your main ingredients. That's what forms your dough. But like I said, you can substitute with anything else you like. So now I am going to buzz, and I'll be right back with you. So you need to make sure your mixture is basically homogeneous. Your dates are pretty much broken down. They're not going to be broken down completely, but it needs to look something like this. So everything is blended together pretty well. Next thing, I'm going to add my almonds. And I'm just going to slightly mix it together just to make sure that they are in chunks rather than like a powder or like the whole almond. And here is my mixture. You can see, I'm not sure if you can see, the almonds are still in chunks, but you will be able to see them better when the dough is coming together. Now I'm gonna add my water in 2 doses. So I'm gonna add half of it, blend it up, and then I'm gonna add the other half. You will know when your dough is ready when the multi-mixer is starting to have a hard time. So let's listen a little bit so you can see the difference. You see, it's starting to slow down. At that point you stop because you don't want to burn this out, and it also means it's done. I'm going to transfer everything to a bowl. And I'm gonna mix a little bit with my hands. I have to take my rings off. Make sure you have clean hands. I've washed my hands 3 times already. But yeah, no rings, and wash your hands. So I'm gonna bind it together and make sure it comes together. If you feel that your dough is too dry, you can definitely add more water. If you feel that it is too wet, don't stress over it. Leave it as is, because we're gonna leave the little, when we form the little bites, we're gonna leave them out to dry out a bit before we store them into a container. Now, so it forms a little ball the size of your fist. And as you can see the almonds are still in chunks, which I like. And it smells like almond bliss, like it's amazing. I'm gonna transfer this to parchment paper where I'm gonna work on forming the bites. What I like to do is I will form a square with my hands here on parchment paper. It's a very sticky dough, so I recommend using parchment paper. It's easier to manipulate the dough. You could definitely also cut them into bars and use them as protein bars. I find that protein bars are good, like the store-bought ones are good for us that have done this surgery, because we need to have high protein intake, yet we can eat so little that's very hard to eat 80 grams of protein when you can only eat 4 ounces 3 times a day. But protein shakes and protein bites help us achieve the recommended protein intake. You can cut these into bars, because for me, the store-bought protein bars, one, are too big, and two, they don't sit well with me, and thirdly, my taste buds have changed, and I can taste the aspartame or the fake sweeteners in most of those products. So yeah, I'm having a hard time finding the right protein bar for me, so this is a great alternative. Once I form my square, I will cut into 9 pieces. You can also weigh your dough and kind of estimate how much each piece should be. I am not that, particular with it, so I'm just gonna eyeball it. Once you have your 9 little squares, if you see that there is a square that's a little bigger than another, you can take a little bit from the bigger one and give some to the little one. Once the dough is done, we're gonna squish it together, form a little ball. There you go. This is what they look like. Once you formed your ball or your bite, I will leave them to rest for about 5 minutes outside so they can dry out a little bit. Then I'm gonna store them in an airtight container, and you can keep them in the fridge for about a week. If you're interested to see some healthy meal ideas, you can also follow me on Instagram, which is georgia.vsg.journey, and you can subscribe to my channel. You can follow my weight loss journey, and I'm also gonna start posting more healthy recipes that are also VSG friendly. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time.